Welcome to Reddit Reader. George Carlin said, "Think of how stupid the average person is, and realize half of them are stupider than that. What real-life example have you seen that validates this view?" Customers arguing that their tattoo is backwards while their artist tries to explain that no, your tattoo is fine, it just looks backwards because that's how mirrors work. I'm a physician, eye doctor specifically. I will tell you that the longer I work, now 15 years, my standard for the average person continues to decline. Case in point, thanks to the awful information filtering out there, I had a patient just last week who read that vitamin D helps you resist a coronavirus infection. Well, he had also read that you can get more vitamin D by getting more sun. So he wanted to collect as much light as possible with his eyes. As a result, he stared at the sun for a solid 60 seconds and burned holes directly into his retinas, permanently reducing his vision with no chance at future improvement. About half the calls I take on a daily basis. People call 911 to ask whether Walmart is open, to report that they didn't get enough mayo on their burger, to complain that cleanup at a fatality wreck is taking too long. All sorts of silly, out-of-touch shit. Granted, there is probably some level of mental illness and or substance abuse present in those calls, but still. I used to work for a chatbot app. Our app would text our users every morning with a greeting in a different language, i.e., hola, bonjour, etc. One day we got blown up by a user saying their account was hacked. She said, "My name is Kim Smith, not Kim Konnichiwa. Someone's hacked my account." When we explained that our service has been clearly saying hello to her in other languages every day, and that Konnichiwa is hello in Japanese, and her account was fine, she went on a racist rant and said Disney was behind the destruction of America. Yep. Friend of mine showered in cold water for a year because he never thought of turning the other tap to see what it would do. I have pressed every single button, turned every tap, and flicked every switch in my house at least 1,000,000 times, including fuses. How people can just stand in a shower and never try anything, especially if they don't have hot water, just blows my mind. At the start of working from home due to COVID, I had a few users submit tickets for connectivity issues. These tickets got through 2 lines of support before landing in my queue. Turns out that the corporate Wi-Fi doesn't follow you home and you need home internet in order to connect to the VPN. I recently spent 20 minutes on the phone with a board member trying to diagnose why his camera wasn't working for our online meetings. Funny thing, you have to actually have a camera in order for it to work. My dad is a pesticide investigator for the state and heard this on a complaint. I set out all these bird feeders and bird baths, but not one bird comes to my yard. I bet it is all those pesticides that crop duster is laying down in the field. Local school board member as they were standing in her 5-acre yard with 20 or more cats running around. I used to manage a retail store that sold teen clothing, so as expected, I primarily had teens working for me. One employee came to the back room while I was on break and asked what I was eating. Somehow the topic turned to how I should have bought chicken for lunch because she wanted chicken. I told her I was vegetarian and therefore don't eat meat. She tells me chicken is not meat, it's poultry, and vegetarians can eat poultry. She said at the grocery store, the aisles list meat and poultry separately, so they're obviously different. We argued for a couple of minutes before I finally told her to go back to the sales floor. She didn't last at the job long, but damn. You know the reason you bury a rattlesnake after you kill it is because bees will eat it. Then bees can sting people with rattlesnake venom. Guy I heard constantly trying to pick up women on public transit. That sounds like a sick superpower though. Then a bear eats the honey and it gets snake fangs and stingers on its claws. The circle of life is both gorgeous and terrifying. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it, and subscribe so you don't miss our next upload.